Folks, if you see one around you that you think is really creative, make them come up here. Idonna's going to weed us out to 10 of them. Joletta McGrath, if you're out there, if you would bring me the 2 Starbucks printouts, please.
Right here. Right here, baby. I can hold it and everything. Right here. Yep.
Come on up and stand right behind me. Come on up and stand right behind me, right here.
I like that one. Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
All right, that's enough.
Awesome.
There's a timber sign and a timber sign and a tripod.
Oh, that was great.
Get your pictures.
We got a mess. I think we have one.
So Idonna, what we're going to do, I can't reach with this cord. You're going to have to go to each one.
Okay.
I'm going to have you hold your hand over their head.
Okay.
Crowd, you're going to clap for the ones that you like best. We're going to see who gets the most applause.
Okay. Raise your hand.
Ready? Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2.
Raise it. There you go. Okay, number 3.
Number 3. 4. 5. 3 and 5 going real well right now. 6. 7. 8. 9. Oh boy. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. That's a pretty good one. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. Did I miss anybody?
Right here.
Okay. 10 and Tinder. You got 3. We got 3 finals. Everyone else, thank you very much. How about a hand for everybody else? Right here.
Okay, we got 3 finalists. 1.
Number 1. Number 2. And number 3. So I'm not real sure what someone of this age is going to do with a $20 Starbucks card, but maybe you get something out of your mom and dad. Congratulations. And I actually have 2 cards, so Tinder. Shout out to my alma mater. How many Bearcats are out there? Eat them up. So we're about to do our first chant of the day, and I'm going to rip off my alma mater. If you've ever been to a Sam Houston Bearcat football game, we have a tradition. The student stands will scream, Sam. Bearcats, Sam. They scream Houston. We're going to divide you right down the middle, decide which side you're on. This side, you're going to yell boot. This side, you're going to yell vouchers.
Yeah.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boot. All right, give yourselves a hand. That ought to start our message off to them pretty solidly today. Thank you for participating in that. We've got a great day lined up for you. We've got a lot of really good speakers. I'm not one of them. How many teachers do we have out here right now? How many of you are not teachers, but you love public schools and support public schools? How many of you are angry that we have a governor who labels teachers as groomers and indoctrinators in order to accomplish an agenda? You should be angry. I am too. But I'm telling you right now, anger without focus is useless. Today we're going to talk about what we can do. But that anger needs to be focused squarely on one person and one person alone for now. There are plenty of others that will take responsibility later, but the person spearheading all of this is Governor Greg Abbott. As far as the people that work in this building, we're going to see where they land on this issue in this special session. And regardless of party, this is a nonpartisan gathering. Regardless of party, we must defend those who defend us, and we must go to the polls and kick the ones who vote for vouchers to the curb. I thank you for being here. I'd like to introduce Pastor Natalie Webb for our invocation.
Thanks. Good afternoon, y'all. I'm Reverend Natalie Webb. I'm the pastor of University Baptist Church here in Austin, Texas, and I am a proud public school mom. I'll invite you to join me in prayer. God, we gather before you today in all our beautiful diversity, united in one heart and mind, as we call on you, on our community, and on our elected officials to protect our public schools from the vicious attacks wielded against them. We gather in a spirit of boldness and gratitude as we give thanks for all the teachers, administrators, librarians, school staff, and educators who are working tirelessly to serve all our Texas children. Help them feel our love and gratitude, even as they face constant lies and slander from the governor. We give thanks for our state representatives who are fighting for our public schools, those who have chosen to do the right thing over the politically expedient thing, those who have the deep moral fortitude needed to stand up to powerful bullies. They are models of courage under pressure for all Texans, and we pray that they stand firm in their conviction against whatever devil's bargain is thrown at them in this special session coming up. May they continue to be a light of truth and goodness that only grows in our capital. Most importantly, God, we give thanks for all our Texas students, from those just learning to read to those preparing to go off to college. These kids are the hope of our communities, our state, and our nation. Protect them, God, as they grow and learn. Guide them to become the kind of leaders that will transform the broken systems of our world. We are counting on them, and we know they are counting on us. Bless this gathering, bless each of these present, inspire and enliven us for the fight that lies ahead. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Awesome. Thank you for coming out today. So many things to do today, and you took your time to come here, and we thank you. My name is Monty Exter. I'm here today on behalf of the Coalition for Public Schools as one of its co-chairs. I will give a special shout out to my ATPE crew in the crowd who also know me as their State Director of Governmental Relations. So the Coalition has been around for about 30 years now fighting this issue. While many other states have fallen victim to the scourge that is vouchers, Texas has continued to stand strong for decades. And it is because we have stood together. The Coalition for Public Schools is made up of educators, parents, administrators, and organizations from all across the state who are united in our support of public schools. But mostly, the Coalition is you. If you are an educator, if you are a parent, if you love your public school and you want to see it flourish, you are the coalition. So today I'm introducing this rally. We have some phenomenal speakers for you guys. They're going to have some great things for you to hear today. They're also going to help you know what to do once we leave this rally, because this is a beginning, not an end. The folks that work in the building behind me are going to start being here next Monday. We need to let them know, not just today, but through the next 30 days, that we want to support our public schools and not divert our tax dollars to unaccountable voucher programs. Now you may ask, who are the people who are supporting us? So you will see some signs, not this one, but there are some signs out there that have a list of legislators on them. There are 100 legislators on those signs who supported us during the regular session. Please take time to contact them and thank them for their support. Without them, we would not be able to succeed. If your legislator is not on the sign, please contact them too and ask them to support their local public school. Ask them to support you. Ask them to support our children of the state of Texas. Thank you for coming today, and have a great rally.
My name is Arthi Singh. I'm a school board president for Austin ISD. Woo! And I'm here speaking as an individual. You know, we could be spending this beautiful day enjoying music at ACL or cheering on our Longhorns in the OU game, but we are here today because we love our public schools and we will protect them at all costs. Yes, look at this crowd. We come from rural areas, urban areas, and suburban areas. We are Republicans and Democrats and everything in between. We are immigrants and we are citizens. And we all reject Abbott's reprehensible voucher scheme. We speak as one today because Texas public schools prepare more than 5 million students to think critically, make healthy choices, enter the workforce, college, or the military, and really to preserve our democracy. Our number one job right now in this special session is to make sure public tax dollars stay in public schools. We know, we're smart. We know that school privatization predators are swarming for a piece of Texas's multi-billion-dollar surplus. And we will absolutely not allow education to become this sort of profiteering circus at the expense of our own children's future. I'm angry. Are you angry? In addition, we know there is a well-funded, coordinated, national extremist effort to weaken our communities using the old divide and conquer playbook. The more they make us fight each other for scraps, and the more that privatization fragments our communities and our education systems, the easier it's going to be for them to mold our children into whatever ideological framework that they want to, and we cannot absolutely let that happen. In this dystopia, public schools as we know them will no longer exist, and this is already about to happen in Arizona with universal vouchers. It's a train wreck over there. How absolutely irresponsible is it for us to drain and starve our public education system right now, just as artificial intelligence and other technologies are exploding, and we need a well-educated workforce more than ever? It makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you? No! You know, they're going to try to dress up voucher scams by calling them education savings accounts or hitching them to promises of increased funding. We're smarter than that, right? We will not fall for these tricks. No way. They have done the math, and they know that just like in Las Vegas, the pro voucher house always wins once they get a foothold. This is a historic moment, and the future of our public schools is on the line. And I am so glad that we have folks like you here. We've got teachers, parents, we've got elected officials. If you're an elected official, let's hear you. Let's hear you. Thank you to our elected officials. And we're lucky to have members of our Travis County delegation right here. Thank you, Representative Gina Hinojosa, Donna Howard, Vicki Goodwin. We love them. All right, so here's what we're going to do, because we have to. We're going to vote in every election. Every election. Now, I tell my kids there's nothing worse than voting and guessing at names. And trust me, I have a hard name for a lot of people, so I know. So I'm going to ask you to do your research and tell your friends to do their research. Go to the Texas Parent PAC website and find out who the pro-education candidates are. There are Republicans and Democrats on that list, and we need all of them. Next, you've got to form an advocacy committee in your PTA. That's how I started on this road. It is a lot more fun to raise hell with friends, isn't it? And next, you got to tell your legislators to reject any school privatization scheme. All right, any. It doesn't matter. History tells us that we can allow even the tiniest voucher foothold by whatever fancy name they want to call it. So we are aligned, we are loud, we are speaking as one, and we are not going anywhere because we love our Texas public schools. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Williams-Hill, and I've been an educator in the state of Texas for the past 21 years, serving as a secondary English teacher, a campus administrator, a superintendent, a central office administrator, and an ATPE and PTA member. I stand with you today in solidarity to say no to vouchers, to say no to the individuals who willingly, recklessly choose to withhold or take away funding from our public schools, making a conscious choice to play games with children's educational experiences and with the livelihood of Texas educators. Every time you hear something that resonates with you that I say today, I want you to say, stop playing games. We say no to vouchers because vouchers can essentially dismantle the public education opportunity for Texas children. We say no to vouchers because they are false solutions to politically manufactured problems in education. The terms school choice and vouchers try to make the public believe public schools will not be harmed, but they will be because public schools will lose funding. As an administrator who has led HR departments, I've been charged with recruiting, retaining, and hiring educators. The lack of state funding impedes our ability to offer livable wage salaries to not only hourly employees, but also our teachers, principals, librarians, and counselors. We know the cost of living continues to rise, and educator salaries have remained stagnant over the past 10 years, causing many educators to leave the field. But we have not received any new funding to increase educators' salaries. We have lost a number of educators, leaving our children's classrooms without quality certified teachers, the inability to attract new candidates to the field, and have made it a challenge to retain the type of quality educator we all want children to have. We say no to vouchers because they've deprived public schools of the necessary funding that is needed to educate children who are working hard to meet state standards to graduate with industry-based certifications or associate degrees. Without the appropriate funding, we may not be able to hire the welding, technology, or engineering teachers needed to teach those classes. To illustrate the potential impact of vouchers, We know that the state of Texas allots $6,160 for each student enrolled. With the voucher, school choice, education savings account, whatever you choose to call it, one teacher, counselor, or librarian could be cut for every 7 to 9 students who leave public education schools. If we cannot attract or retain teachers, counselors, and librarians, children will not graduate ready for life, college, or careers. Businesses will not have the talent they need to help the Texas economy thrive. We are saying no to vouchers because public schools cannot afford to lose any more funding in an already underfunded system. We ask that the legislature do its job by funding public schools in a way that fully funds districts, which will allow us to educate children to reach their full potential. So I ask you today to remain united, intentional, and lead with our children in mind. Do your research and vote in every election. Contact your legislator and ask them to support fully funding public schools.
Hey everyone. My name is Jaime Puente, and I'm here today representing the Texas Legislative Education Equity Coalition, an advocacy coalition that for over 20 years has focused on racial equity in public schools and is made up of over 30 grassroots education and civil rights organizations. Public education is the tie that binds us together as Texans and Americans. Vouchers were created to keep us divided and segregated, despite the historic wins of the civil rights movement. That's why we are here today to refuse the governor's crooked deal. For more than 60 years, a bipartisan, multiracial coalition of Texans has rejected vouchers, and we are here again today to say no to vouchers in Texas. For the last 3 years, voucher vultures have circled the body of our public education system, waiting for their opportunity to gut one of our most cherished institutions. But we know that vouchers are a scam, and we won't let those vultures touch our community schools. In Arizona, vouchers are expected to cost nearly $1 billion, double what was actually appropriated for their so-called universal ESA. In Florida, universal vouchers have ballooned to $2 billion, and $500 million more than the year before, and the real cost is expected to be more like $4 billion. But in a state where our public schools serve a student population 3 times larger than Arizona and twice as large as Florida, the governor expects us to believe that his voucher scheme will only cost Texans $500 million. I tell you what, if you believe that, I have oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, and you might be able to use a voucher for that. Public education is a cornerstone of our democracy because it is the rock upon which we built our shared knowledge and understanding as Americans. Vouchers undermine that foundation by recreating a separate, unequal, and ideologically driven system of education. Black and Latino students will again suffer racial segregation in Texas schools. With vouchers, students in bilingual education and special education can be denied admission and refuse the services they are legally entitled to as public school students. Our parents and grandparents experienced segregated Texas schools, and we refuse to go back to those days by allowing vouchers to poison our state with their division. We know that Texas public education is more valuable to our lives, to our futures, and the futures of our children than some fly-by-night, have-it-your-way voucher scheme. We demand full investment in public education for all Texas students, black, brown, or white, rich or poor, bilingual or trilingual. Every Texas student deserves a right to their constitutionally guaranteed public education. Today we say, Los Vales no valen. Thank you.
Hello. I love this. You guys are already happy and I haven't started. My name is Tammy Conrad. I'm the president for Education Round Rock, and we are the local union for Round Rock ISD for all staff. We're affiliated with Texas AFT, TSTA, and NEA. I have to tell you that I'm a teacher. I am so tired. I love my students, I love my job, but I am so tired of working so hard. I'm an elementary teacher. I have 69 students whose papers I have to grade and whose parent conferences I have to get ready for on Monday, and I'm tired. And the reason I have to do all that is because the state does not adequately fund public education. You guys know it. We all know that they have not added any money to the student allotment since 2019. That's ridiculous. Now they want to take public tax money and give it to private schools. They say it's because public education is so bad. Well, give us more funding so we can compete with private schools. If they give us more funding, we'll have more staff. We can add programs that students need to be successful in the future. Not vouchers for schools that aren't held accountable and can reject students for any reason. I'm lucky that I work in a district that is taking the initiative to have a voter-approved tax rate election this November called Prop A. When it passes, it will give all staff an additional 3% raise without an increase to homeowners. It's a great thing. It's going to help with retention and it'll help with recruitment for a while. But it's a Band-Aid, right? The state needs to increase the per student allotment, and they have to keep taxpayer money in public education, not private schools. So I'm going to ask you for three things. If you live in Round Rock ISD, I'm asking you to vote yay on Prop A. Say it with me. Vote yay on Prop A. Nice. And since we're all in Texas, we're going to vote yay on Prop 9. That's the constitutional amendment for retired educators.
Support our teachers.
That's right. And the last thing I'm going to ask you for is to say no way to vouchers. No way to vouchers. No way to vouchers. No way to vouchers. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Students, families, teachers, and friends. My name is Zarka Fatima, and I am a recent graduate from Austin ISD and valedictorian of the class of 2023 at Navarro Early College High School. Currently, I am studying biomedical engineering at the University of Texas at Austin on a full scholarship, and after becoming a successful student who has attended public schools my entire life, I am here to share my thoughts. First and foremost, before I start, I would like to highlight that in no way am I saying that that the public education system contains no flaws at all. Like every organizational structure, public schools in Texas have their own set of complications. However, if I could go back and start all over again, I would still choose to enroll in public education, and let me tell you why. For starters, it was in these very schools that my potential was nurtured. Dedicated educators took the time to encourage and challenge me to not just learn but excel. They saw my abilities, not my hijab, my religion, or my race. As a first generation student, I did not have the luxury of depending on my parents for academic advice. I had to rely on my resources and myself. Eventually, with the many diverse programs offered in AISD, I chose the P-Tech program, which allowed me to earn an associate's degree in computer programming and gain workplace experience. I was a part of the first cohort of this program, so basically experiencing everything as a guinea pig. Regardless of my background or circumstances, I had access to resources from my public school, education, and community through educators, counselors, and student leaders. I feel that many people are unaware of all the resources and programs that are available in public schools. However, public education offers a promise of equality to every student and guardian who is supporting their kids from outside. I am a Muslim student, and although I went to a primarily Hispanic-dominated school, I still had the chance to pray my daily prayers. I just had to ask, and my educators and staff, like Emily Hirsch, who's my librarian, and will be speaking shortly, offered their full support. There are so many people behind the scenes that I can't even begin to thank, because the problem lies in the structure of our education. Our public schools are the backbone of our democracy and the engine of our economy. However, funding is the fuel they need to run. Our public schools are doing the best to accommodate each and every student of our future generation. But the improvement should be focused on the quality of education for everyone, regardless of factors such as culture, region, and religion. The question right now shouldn't be about private school vouchers. There should be better quality of education and better financial support of the public education system. Education is a right of all Texans under our state constitution. This is our right. As our educators, families, and community members continue to support us, we must do our part as parents, students, and children to protect and defend our right to a high-quality public education. Thank you.
No, you're not imagining things. I'm back up here. I'm a recuperating high school theater teacher. You let me see a microphone and I'm probably migrating towards it. It's time for a brain break. First of all, let me give you some information. It is a little warm out here. If you need water, if you need first aid, we do have a station set up over here. Please help yourself. Also, equally important, if you are not registered to vote, we have a table right back here where you can register today. Do not leave without registering to vote.
Exercise your right.
We talked about Raise Your Hand Texas. We have the posters with the 100 heroes on it. We have some of them here today. I'd like to formally recognize them. First of all, we have joining us today Representative Gina Hinojosa. Donna Howard. Our sponsor for this rally, Vicki Goodwin, State Representative. Now, in a moment, I'm going to be... Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. We had somebody show up that I didn't expect. Cheryl Cohn. These are the kinds of people we need to be voting for. The people that we need to vote out are not here, of course. Let's go ahead and recognize some other people. There may be some people in the crowd here that we didn't see. If you are a state elected representative in the crowd, give everybody a wave. a group that works equally as hard for their communities. Do we have any locally elected people in the crowd? School board members, city council? All right, this one's a long shot, but let's try it and recognize them. Do we have any federally elected members in the group today? Not so much. That's okay. Now in a moment, you're going to meet the superintendent of Leander ISD, Bruce Gehring. But we're going to greet him with a chant. I want you to chant him up here. This chant flashes back to the 60s a little bit. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Greg Abbott and vouchers have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Greg Abbott and vouchers have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Greg Abbott and vouchers have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Greg Abbott and vouchers have got to go. Hey, hey.
Hello, supporters of public education, and thank you for coming out on this beautiful day. My name is Bruce Gehring, and I'm the proud superintendent of the Leander ISD, just northwest of Austin. We are a public school serving just over 42,500 students, covering over 200 square miles and 9 jurisdictions. As a public school, we serve everyone who lives within the boundaries of Leander ISD and wants to come to school in Leander ISD. We don't care where you come from. We don't care what you look like. We don't care how smart you are or what challenges you bring with you. We are public school and we serve all. In Leander ISD, I want to tell you 3 things this morning that we already do. We already have extensive choice. Let me tell you how. If the school has space in our schools and you want to go to that school, then we allow you to transfer to that school. We have 3 internal schools of choice already in our district: the Virtual Learning Academy, an alternative high school, and an early college high school. And of course, if we had a low-performing school, then state law already allows you to transfer out of that school. Number 2, in Leander ISD, we are fully transparent. Unlike private schools, we are governed by locally elected board of trustees who make decisions in meetings that are open to the public. Unlike private schools, we follow the Texas Open Meetings Act and the Texas Public Information Act. Unlike private schools, our financial records and decisions are openly available to the public. And third, we are fully accountable as public schools. Unlike private schools, we are held accountable to safety standards, to staffing ratios, and to academic requirements. Unlike private schools, we are held accountable to high academic performance through the A through F accountability system. Unlike private schools, we are held accountable to the state's financial integrity rating system of Texas, which ensures that public taxpayer dollars are used appropriately. Unlike private schools, we meet federal and state education standards for special education students. And we provide the accommodations that those students need to be successful in public school. Unlike private schools, we are held accountable to use appropriate curriculum and instructional materials. Let me tell you something. I don't mind school choice. What I do mind is using public taxpayer dollars to fund that choice. Leander ISD is strongly opposed to any form of voucher, no matter what it looks like, that takes public dollars and gives it to private schools. And no amount of money that they offer us will cause us to say yes to vouchers. Say no to vouchers. Thank you.
Okay. My name's Jeannie Lehman Lopez. I'm not as polished as some of these other people you'll see here, but I am a parent, and I would like to read you a little bit of my story. My name is Jeannie Lehman Lopez, and I'm currently an Austin ISD parent, but former longtime Indiana public school parent. I would like to share with you my voucher story. I moved to Texas from a state with long-standing school choice, and I'd like to share with you all how my experience went. I have 3 kids ranging in age from 9 to 23. A couple of my sons are over there. Safe to say I've had kids in school a long time. Vouchers passed in Indiana in 2011, and we moved to Austin to be here with my parents during the pandemic. When vouchers passed, my daughter was headed to 6th grade, and it actually sounded awesome to be able to have more options. There was a prestigious private school not too far away, and I never thought that could be an option, so I started making phone calls. I was in nursing school and pregnant with my son at the time, and I learned quickly that I would have to provide transportation if we chose a private school, which I could not logistically manage. And that nearby prestigious private school did not accept vouchers at all. So it turns out I didn't have a choice. In the next 6 years, what we went through turned me from a nonchalant public ed parent into a fierce public ed advocate. I realized within a few years that there was no healthy competition, but more like a shell game of education dollars. 3 separate school systems, public, charter, and vouchers, funded on the same dollars that previously only supported public schools. Prior to vouchers, I never recalled our district having to work so hard to pass desperately needed referenda. We call them bonds here in Texas. And yet since 2016, we voted on referenda every 2 years to patch funding holes. Private and charter can access private funds to fill holes that traditional public schools cannot. Although this year, in Indiana, the funding has gotten so bad that charter schools lobbied the Indiana legislature to allow sharing of those referenda and bond dollars meant for public school districts. And it passed. Public schools just keep losing. As I said, it took a few years to really start to see the effects, but they were prominent by the time we left. For example, our district had an IB program for all grade levels when we started, which was abandoned at all but the high school by the time we left due to cost. Our elementary schools lost foreign language, as well as almost 0 days of art and music. Class sizes ballooned, and staff dwindled, similar to what is already happening here in Texas. Facilities went without repairs, extracurriculars started disappearing, while the cost for the ones that remained went through the roof. I spent thousands of dollars a year on public school activities. By then, my older son was in elementary school, and his book fees were around $150 a year. My daughter, her high school book fees varied from $500 to almost $700 one year. My daughter had no teacher at all for half the year in her Spanish class and was part of 3 combined classes for calculus. Imagine learning calculus in those conditions. The last thing I want to mention is that the voucher program that passed in 2011 is completely different now. It continues to devastate public schools, and yet it's not even a universal voucher, which is what is being proposed here. Vouchers will negatively impact Texas families like mine, and beyond that, the future of our state. Say no to vouchers. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Texans. Are you ready to advocate like a mother to say no to vouchers? My name is Anna Smith, and I am the proud Vice President of the Leander ISD School Board, and I'm a proud graduate of Texas Public Schools. I'm proud to stand here today to say in Leander ISD, we believe the future of Texas is in our public schools, and that is why in Leander, we are against all vouchers, including ESAs. Governor Abbott, actions, I know, I feel the same way. Actions speak louder than words. And your actions when it comes to the disability community in Texas have proven to this OG Mama Bear, you do not care about educating our children with disabilities. ESAs are not the answer when it comes to providing education choice for our students. Parents lose their voice, and most importantly, our empower students with disabilities, forego their IDEA protections, and release the school from all legal obligations to educate our children. In Texas, we are in a special education funding crisis because our state's refusal to increase an over 30-year outdated special education allotment. Let us not forget the special education cap that denied thousands of students access to education in Texas is still being felt, and we are still waiting for someone to be held accountable for your actions that have cost taxpayers a pretty penny in fines to the federal government. What frustrates me as a board member and as a proud parent to 4 kids in public education is that districts are going above and beyond to provide education opportunities for all kids, while our governor attacks our public schools. In 2022 and 2023, my district, Leander ISD, spent $33 million more on special education than was allocated from the state due to the outdated special education allotment. Districts around Texas are in the same position and are doing everything we can to provide educational opportunities for all our students. Even with our lack of funding, we are still against vouchers. Friends, you have the ultimate choice right now. You have the choice to vote for your locally controlled school board and vote for legislators who support public education. Students, educators, parents, the fight for vouchers is here. We need to stand together for public education and advocate like a mother to say no to vouchers. Thank you.
Texas public school educator for 23 years. For the past 13 years, I have been known as the loyal librarian of Navarro Early College High School here in Austin, Texas. If we are looking to improve Texas public schools, we know that vouchers are a waste of money. Instead, that money should be spent supporting the amazing work our public school educators are doing all over the state every day. And my school is just one example of the great work that's being done. My public school serves students who speak a combined 25 languages and come from at least that many countries. Mexico, Honduras, and El Salvador, but also Rwanda, Myanmar, and Afghanistan. We register new students, including many new to the country students, every single day since the start of this school year. Tell me this, would vouchers serve that diverse of a population? My public school partners with local nonprofit groups, including Austin Voices for Education and Youth, the Council for At-Risk Youth, and communities and schools who provide mental health services, a food pantry, a clothing closet, adult English classes, vaccine clinics, and more, all offering stability to our students and their families. Tell me this, would vouchers help to serve the whole child and their whole family? My public school has a nationally accredited 4-star certified child development center available for free for the infants and toddlers of our parenting students. We also have a parent education class for those students where they learn about child development, healthy relationships, early literacy, and more. The number of parenting students on my campus has only increased since the pandemic, and with Texas's lack of comprehensive sex education and limited reproductive options, we have no reason to believe these numbers will change. Tell me this, are vouchers going to support teen parents? My public school offers special education services for autism, behavior, speech, hearing, and vision, plus physical therapy, occupational therapy, and more. Tell me this, will vouchers support all students with special needs? Students at my public school can graduate with their license or certification in cosmetology, electrical, entrepreneurship, floral design, medical assistance, veterinary technician, or welding. Students, like Zarka, also have the opportunity to earn a full associate's degree by graduation. Will vouchers offer these tangible college and career opportunities? So if vouchers can't offer the benefits that my public school does, then why would we waste money on them? We need that money to build on the great work that's already happening. While I have the stage, I have to say a word on behalf of Texas's school librarians. Last week, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals allowed House Bill 900 to take effect, despite the initial 59-page ruling against it, and despite the fact that the appeals court has not yet heard the case. As for the law itself, can we talk about these supposed sexually explicit books in my library? We all know that sexually explicit is basically just cover for calling out books with gay characters. And that if those same politicians were truly concerned with children being exposed to damaging content, they would be discussing these devices that are too often glued to kids' hands. We also know that we librarians will continue to stand up against HB 900 and all censorship, just as our profession calls us to do. Thank you. Trust me. They will have to take me before they take my books. Everyone expects to hear our voices. It's your voices that hold the power to counteract this assault on our fundamental freedom. Please stand up and be heard. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bishop John Ogletree from Houston, Texas, and I'm the president of Pastors for Texas Children. Our executive director, Charles Johnson, could not be here today, and I'm glad to be here with you. Educators, school board members, superintendents, students, we have gathered on these grounds to raise our voices before this special session to notify our governor and all the legislators that it is wrong to push vouchers down the throat of Texans. It is wrong. And I want you to help me tell our governor, you are wrong. Come on, say, you are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong, governor. You are wrong. You are wrong. Governor Abbott, you're wrong constitutionally. You're wrong legally. You're wrong politically. You're wrong morally. Our Constitution calls for the support and maintenance of an efficient system of public free schools. Legally, there is a separation between church and state, and our tax dollars should not go to private religious education. Politically, Texans, both Republicans and Democrats, citizens in cities, suburbs, rural areas, we all have agreed that there should be no vouchers in our public schools. Come on, let me me hear you. Are you from a city? Say no vouchers. Suburbs, no vouchers. Rural areas, no vouchers. And Governor, you're wrong morally. We all know this is not about education. This is a political move to appease wealthy donors, wealthy businessmen, Christian nationalists who want to destroy our public schools. And Governor, you're wrong for your school choice Sunday. We're not going to take up our Sunday to push this immoral idea. It violates religious liberty. So today, I want to give you a woe. That's W-O-E, not W-H-O-A. I didn't ride up here on a horse. I'm here as a man of God to speak to you from a spiritual position. Isaiah 10:1 expresses a woe, a word of caution, a word of judgment on those who would enact unrighteous laws to deprive and oppress people who are in need and deny people of what is right and fair. Governor, the enactment of vouchers will be injurious to our children, be they black, brown, Anglo, Asian. It will be a denial of a good education to over 5 million plus students in our public schools. This is a woe, Governor, because what you're trying to do is a wicked act. This is a woe because what you're trying to do is an obnoxious act. It's a woe, Governor, because what you are trying to do as an egregious act. So I say woe in God's name to you, sir. You need to stop. You need to shut it down. Because every child in our state deserves the best education possible. Every district, every school district in our state deserves the full funding. And Governor, every educator needs to get paid. So we're here to give you this woe and let you know that we will not be silent. We will not stop. We will not quit until you change and get right. Let's give it up for public education. Public education. Public education. Public education.
As somebody who regularly speaks to advocate public education, let me share a little wisdom with you if you ever get into this position. If you want to build a reputation as a public education advocate, do not follow Reverend Ogletree or Reverend Johnson, and I have to do it on a regular basis. How about another hand for Reverend Ogletree real quick? How about a thank you for all of our speakers today? One housekeeping thing, we have more signs over here. If you'd like to take one or more and take them home and put them in your yard, please feel free. And all good things must come to an end, but I want to tell you this. This cannot be the end. You cannot believe that you came to a rally and changed anything. The only way we change the culture in this building and in that governor's mansion is in the voting booth. Everything else is defense. We are trying to prevent the other side from running their offense. Our offense is in the voting booth. You have to register. You have to go. And it cannot be you alone.